Let's call the meeting to order. And the first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the July 23rd, 2020 Oklahoma City Airport Trust meeting. The chairman would entertain a motion to that effect and a second. And it passes. Next on our agenda is the director's report.
Mr. Chairman, just a few comments as I each month want to just talk a little bit about how the trends are with our boarding passenger numbers due to COVID-19 beginning in March. We are still down over 60% from what our normal numbers would be for this time of year. We have been hovering around 2,800 to 3,000 passengers going through the security checkpoint. On Tuesday, however, we dipped down to 1,751 passengers. So what's happening with the airlines is they're continuing to make weekly schedule adjustments. They're bringing some service back that was previously suspended, and other routes are then further being suspended. So it really is almost a day-by-day situation with the airlines. And I think a lot of it is based on the bookings. We're finished with the summer travel. I think that will see us in a little bit of a downturn. Typically, we are in a slow time of year until fall break, with schools and universities, probably students not traveling as much during fall break. We may not see much activity. And I think the next clear barometer on how things are bouncing back will be the holidays in December and November. With that, Mr. Chairman, those are my comments.
Thank you, Mark. I'll take a motion to receive the report and a second. Thank you, sirs and ma'am. Next on the agenda, Will Rogers Road Airport.
Under Will Rogers, we're requesting approval for item A. This is to accept the completed project for the medium voltage transformer replacement and radar antenna lab feed project at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center. Item B is ratify and approve addendum number 1. This is for the aircraft rescue and firefighting access road pavement replacement project. Receive the recommendation on the bids, waive some bid irregularities, and award the construction contract to Nash Construction Company for $491,313, approving the contract and bonds. Item C is approve amendment number 6 to the contract with ADG. This is for the terminal building upper level deck structural repairs project. It is an increase of $54,027. Item D is approve amendment number 7 to the contract with Frankfurt Short Bruza. This is for the terminal expansion project, increase of their contract of $69,742. Item E is to approve supplement number 3 to the contract with Jackson Mechanical Service Incorporated. They're providing temporary boiler service for the base maintenance building at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center. That's effective October 1st. Item F is approved change order to the contract with Shiloh Enterprises for the Mike Monroney project for the Hangar 8 heating system replacement project, an increase of $45,090.77. Item G is approved change order 1 to the contract with Wind Construction Incorporated. This is for the reconstruction of Station 2 in the pedestrian tunnel. Also, the eventual replacement of moving walkways number 18 and 25. It's an increase of $48,045.41. Item H is approved change order number 7 to the contract with Crossland Heavy Contractors. They are finishing up our rehabilitation of the terminal access roadway. We're adding 12 days. Item I is approved change order 17 to the contract with Timberlake Construction Company for the terminal renovation and expansion phase 3 project, an increase of $455,091.41. Item J is approved the plans and project manual submitted by Johnson and Associates for the aircraft lavatory waste disposal facility project and authorize the advertisement for bids to be opened on September 23rd. Item K is approve the plans and project manuals submitted by Frankfurt Shore Bruza for the medium voltage 5521 circuit tie-in on Mike Monroney's campus, and authorize the advertisement for bids to be open on September 30th. Item L is approve the request for bids for furniture for the terminal expansion project, authorize advertisement for bids to be open September 30th. And last, item M is to adopt a resolution of the trust authorizing the director to make a sole source purchase for our parking equipment and installation from Ski Data. They have the contract for the hardware and software upgrades to our parking access and revenue control system. It's in an estimated amount of $58,356. Those are all the items, Mr. Chairman, request approval.
Thank you, Mark, for those items that you're requesting approval on. Any comments or questions from the trustees? And if not, I'll accept the motion to receive and approve, and a second. And it is so passed. Next item on the agenda, Wiley Post Airport.
Item A is to adopt a resolution to authorize and declare an outstanding account receivable as uncollectible with Air One Flight Academy. It's in an amount of $4,708.73. And then item B is to approve amendment number 1 to the lease and operations agreement with Runway Cafe. We're terminating the agreement effective September 1. Both of these at Wiley Post. Request approval.
You've heard the request for approval for the items at Wiley Post. We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. And it's so passed. Next, general items.
Item A is to receive the delinquent accounts receivable report, construction project status report, and the budget to actual report. And last, item B is to approve amendment number 2 to the contract with our real estate broker agreement with Price Edwards and Company, LLC. We're just delaying the start of their retainer services and fees, retroactive effective August 1st. Request approval.
You've heard the request for approval for the general items. We'll take a motion in a second. And it is passed. Next, lease and other agreements.
Item A is to approve the airport use agreement with Aeronautical Radio. They provide the installation and operation for communications equipment to provide air and ground communications to aircraft on the ground here at Will Rogers. Item B is approving the air cargo use and operations agreement with Federal Express Corporation. Item C is approve the annual amendment to the modification of the contract with the U.S. Marshals Service, confirming their fiscal year 2021 rental amounts to be effective September 1st. Item D is approve supplement number 43 with the Federal Aviation Administration Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center lease at Will Rogers. Item E is approve the non-federal reimbursable agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center. This is for the remodeling and renovation work to be done on the base maintenance building, and the amount is $8,148,739 at Will Rogers. Item F is approved supplement number 2 to the grass cutting agreement with John Schieber. We are removing portions of parcels 11H and 12H from the leased premises effective September 1st at Will Rogers. Item G and H are assignment and assumption and use guarantees for the conveyance of PWA hangars from one party to another. Item I is approve the assignment and assumption agreement assigning the lease with James Johnson to transfer that hangar site at Clarence E. Page Airport to D&J Land LLC. Item J is approve the 9th amendatory lease agreement between the Airport Trust and the City of Oklahoma City. And last, item K is to approve a joint resolution with the City of Oklahoma City and the Airport Trust. We are approving, authorizing, and directing the mayor and the vice mayor, chairman, the vice chair of the trust, the city clerk, and the secretary of the trust to attest to the execution, of these following documents with AZ Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Landlord LLC. It's the construction agreement, a lease and operations agreement, a lessor's estoppel certificate, and last, a memorandum of construction contract and ground lease. This is upon the execution of the final documents that will be reviewed by myself and the municipal counselor's office. And once the municipal counselor's office has determined that the documents are substantially consistent with the joint resolution and the draft agreements here too, as necessary to effectuate the terms of those by the agreed parties, then those agreements will be filed with the city clerk and the secretary of the trust. And with that, Mr. Chairman, request approval for all the leases and other agreements.
You've heard the request for approval for the leases and the other agreements. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve these items. And the items pass. Next up, Mr. Director, the resolution ratifying actions.
Well, sir, we're requesting approval for item 8, the requisitions.
You've heard the recommendation to approve the recommendation for item 8. Seeing no comments or questions, please, I'll take a vote and a second and cast your votes. And the item passes. Next on our agenda, comments from trustees. Any trustees wishing to make a comment? Seeing none. Comments from staff. Again, seeing none. Any citizens signed up and wishing to be heard?
I know of none, Chairman.
Thank you, ma'am. Having none, with that, we are adjourned. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.